I'm not sure how I feel about Defending Your Life. I definitely didn't dislike it, but I don't know if I really enjoyed it. Love the concept, but I found the execution to be just a little bit bland. This was released in 1991. It's directed by Albert Brooks, written by Brooks with a cast including Brooks and Meryl Streep. And it's about an individual, Daniel, who dies at the start of the film. And he goes to Judgment City. And when he's there, he's going to find out whether he's moving on to the next stage, i.e., I guess what we class as heaven, or if there are obstacles preventing him from doing this. And when they evaluate his life, it's determined that he never overcame his fears. So that's kind of unfinished business before he can move on to the next stage. And he has to try and work through this and try and argue that actually he should be allowed to move on. And while he's in this limbo state, he meets a woman who's also there called Julia. This is Meryl Streep's character. And they hit it off and they get along really well. And honestly, that's kind of all that happens. It's largely about their relationship while also trying to work out what's going to happen with Daniel and ultimately where he's going to go. And as a concept, I love it. I think it sounded really, really fascinating. I was really looking forward to it. I love anything that deals with the afterlife of any kind. And I feel like, yes, it's creative. I think there's a lot of creativity in this. But I just found the narrative, once it got going, to begin with, very, very strong. But once it got going, I feel like the focus shifted from the story to the characters, which is not a terrible thing. There are many, many character-driven films that are really great. But I also found the characters to just be a little bit dull. I didn't hate them. I didn't dislike them at all. But I wouldn't say I found them to be that interesting, and certainly not interesting enough, in my opinion, to carry the whole film. Yes, there are obviously things that happen with the narrative throughout, but I feel like the focus is more about their growing friendship, relationship, whatever is happening between them. And I just didn't find it to be that interesting. They work well enough. I believe it. I think they're very convincing together. I have no issues there. It just wasn't that interesting. Obviously, the setting itself is quite fascinating, but I don't think they utilised it as much as they could have done. So it's an okay film. It is a good film. Maybe my expectations were too high or my hopes were too high because I do love this kind of film or this kind of setting. And I guess I do look for specific things and it just didn't deliver for me. So I think it's a good film. I don't think it quite lived up to its potential, but it's certainly not bad. The characters are fine. I don't think they're the most interesting, but there's nothing wrong with them. The performances are fine. Visually, it looks good. I quite like the set design for a lot of it. I think, again, maybe they could have, from what I would want to see, they could have done maybe a little bit more with it. But again, it's not bad. There is nothing about this that is badly done. There are just things that I think could have been done differently to make it a bit more interesting. So if you're curious, I'd say check it out. Defending Your Life is more than a watchable film. It didn't quite meet my expectations, but it was still a decent experience. And if it sounds like a story that might appeal to you, then I'd say it's worth watching.